And sitting pretty, sitting pretty, sitting pretty, sitting pretty.
Why can't keeping it real be classy? Okay. Why can't keeping it real be let me hold my peace and let me move on? Why can't keeping it real be, you know what? They may have done that, but I'm going to respect them and move forward. Why can't that be keeping it real? Right.
Hey everybody, my name is Tracy, owner and founder of Cherice Your Life Coaching. If you yearn to live powerfully, purposely, and prosperously, I can help you. I've been transformed and aligned with my purpose and will be honored to help you align with yours. I help those who yearn to love their life, free from fear and the restrictions of others. I coach privately or in group sessions, in person or remotely. You can find me on Facebook at Trace Zen, my website traceyourlife.com, or give me a call at 480-788-8735 to book your session.
All right, we are back with Sitting Pretty and Keeping It what?
Real. Really, real.
Ladies and the few gentlemen that may listen to our podcast. Today, you are listening to episode 7 of season 2, and we have Miss Cherice Love, the overall creator, here with us sitting at the table tonight. How are you doing?
I am doing great. Thank you guys so much for having me.
No problem.
You're
We are glad
welcome.
you are here.
Yes.
So Cherice is going to join in on our hot topics, and as you guys all know, on the second half, the second half will be all about her, so you guys will get to learn more about Miss Cherice and what she's all about and what she does. Sounds like a plan?
Yes, and it's Kimmy where our pretty's at. It's T to the E.
And it's Nikkei. I don't know why you looked up at me like that, because that's exactly what I was about to say. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
You forgot us last time. So now we're going to do it again. We're going to take control. It's T to the E. It's Kimmy where our pretty's at.
See? Y'all think I be slipping, but I don't. I be on it. All right, so on the menu for tonight, we have a vegan spread.
It's vegan tonight.
It's vegan.
Real vegan.
So we got all the vegetables that you could probably think of over there sitting on the table.
We went to the farm.
Yeah, basically, to include in a nice green salad. Mm-hmm. We got the lettuce, we got the mushrooms, we got the tomatoes, we got the carrots, we got the bell peppers, we got the olives, onions, pepperoncinis. We're going to need gum after you eat these onions.
Balsamic
vinegar. Sounds like a deal. Man,
it sounds amazing.
Okay,
right?
sounds vegan. Sounds real good.
Man, on top of that, we got an assortment of fruits. You know, you got to get the sweet. You got to have your sweets from somewhere, right?
Yes, you do.
And then what else do we have on the table tonight?
How dare you forget the bean salad?
The bean salad. Thank you for reminding me. We have, I wasn't going to mess with you and say that you're becoming a vegan, but I just wanted to mess with you because you made a bean salad.
I can make selective vegan dishes, but I'm not vegan.
Mm-hmm.
And then what else we got for dessert?
And then Miss Cherice blessed us.
Oh, yeah, you could tell us about that.
Yes,
we have banana nut bread.
Yes, ma'am.
It was
delicious, warm. Yes, warm and fresh, and yeah, it's vegan, gluten, and soy free.
It's vegan.
Vegan, gluten, and soy free.
Yes. It smelled real good.
I'm going to warm mine up when it smells so good when we open that container.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
It smelled real good.
Smell particles.
I'm going to have it with a side of butter pecan.
I was thinking that you just mess up the whole thing. Just fuck it up. You did all that vegan for nothing.
I'm going to just F up the vegan bread.
To be honest, you were going to screw up the whole situation.
I didn't want to tell y'all what I was going to do.
You
vegan dairy.
I don't. I'm going to go get some butter pecan. Butter pecan.
Maybe they have vegan butter pecan.
Nope.
They got vegan.
I want to do regular. Nope. I want to do regular butter pecan.
Yeah, regular.
I do sound good. I'm not even gonna lie.
I thought of ice cream, but
with
I can't
that warm vegan
was
banana
nice
bread,
warm.
girl, I'm gonna sleep well tonight.
I almost ate one of them slices, plating it.
Would have been down a slice.
It's gonna be on and popping.
Yes.
Man, so today we got the hot topics on the
menu.
I was gonna say on the menu because I was gonna say I think that's all we have on the menu for tonight, though.
Right? Wait, you forgot about my pineapple
the drink.
tequila martini.
Tell them, girl. Go ahead and tell them.
So Cherice put me up to the test with this tequila. So I made a pineapple tequila martini.
It's really
and
good.
It is yummy.
It is delicious.
Yeah,
Yay for me.
I know I'm over here sipping on it right now, and I'm only 20.
Yeah, right. You 21 and you ain't sipping.
And ain't
me,
sipping.
me and Cherice the only one sipping right now.
I sipped.
She gold.
You already.
Yeah, I go. Mine is gone. I did some fast sips.
All she got left is her little orange
Y'all
slice.
was playing with y'all phones. That's why.
Her garnishment
Yeah,
left.
she gold. I don't even think. Where's the cup at?
Right here.
I didn't drink the cup.
I didn't see it.
The cup
You're
is
funny.
gone too.
No, y'all was playing on y'all phones and I was drinking.
You know that was funny. All right. So, since we are all ladies sitting at the table tonight, well, usually it's always ladies sitting at the table.
Because I'm a lady.
I'm
Sometimes.
glad you are. All right. So, which Powerpuff Girl were you when you were growing up? So we got Blossom, we got Bubbles, and we got
I don't remember
Buttercup.
them folks, child.
They wasn't it. I only know them because of you.
Y'all don't know the Powerpuff?
I do.
What did y'all have? Like the
The-
Powderpuff Girl?
Whatever.
I know which one I like though, but go.
Were you a Powerpuff Girls fan?
I watched it a little bit. So,
no.
I want to say Bubbles.
Mine too.
Bubbles?
Bubbles is
Yeah.
mine. She had the blue on, right? The little cute one with the
yeah.
blonde hair. I like Bubbles too.
That's Bubbles.
She's super sweet, but she
Right.
Yeah.
And mess some things up.
Yep.
I'm not answering
play
that question because I don't remember
No,
them people.
excuse me.
I'm gonna let y'all go while I Google it.
And Blossom, she's more Buttercup, and you got the green on too.
Oh, okay, let me look at Buttercup.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
a little mean one.
Whatever, jerk. Then
Which one did you like?
Blossom. I like Blossom and Bubbles.
I love Bubbles. She's
I
so
like
cute.
both of them. but
so
I
all
like
y'all,
Buttercup.
all y'all are the same one.
No, it's Blossom,
Blossom?
Bubbles, and Buttercup.
No, we both
Okay.
of us like Bubblecup.
Okay, gotcha.
What
Girl,
about
I'm
you?
confused. I don't know. I don't know who them people
Show
are.
the
You like
picture.
Buttercups?
You just said you wanted some
Go with that.
butter pecan
That's
ice
it.
cream.
Well, if she like butter pecan ice cream, I'll be her.
Show her the picture of
No,
it.
I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna
Right
do
here.
it.
You don't. When Navarre was a kid, I used to buy her all
Girl, I don't
that
remember them
Powerpuff Girl
folks.
stuff.
They
You
were
were
Cartoon
grown,
Network.
but her kids were grown at the time.
Yeah, exactly. And Latrice
And-
didn't watch them, right?
No, she missed
I
it. It
don't
was
know
Navarre's
people.
age. It was when
Then
she was
whichever
little.
one you pick for me, I'll be.
Professor.
No.
Who was Professor?
The person that created them.
You a jerk out, asshole. Anyways,
That's better than being who was the one Mojo Jojo.
Oh, Mojo Jojo. Actually, you
Mojo
are
Jojo.
more Mojo Jojo.
you know what? Whatever y'all say, it don't
Mojo
matter.
Jojo.
Because I have no idea.
He had a
Look
turban.
up Mojo
He
Jojo,
wore a
you gonna
turban.
be weak. Look up Mojo Jojo from Powerpuff Girls.
I will. And tomorrow I'll be looking it up and then be mad at you.
Yeah, we're gonna look at it. Anyways, so this is one of my favorite shows, I guess you could say, growing up. Ixie, what are you looking at?
That noise right there.
Oh my gosh, you just threw me all off.
You gonna
Well,
mess
you
up
threw
the
me off.
audio, girl.
Yeah. No,
She
I'm
messing it up with
not.
that clicking. Yes, you can. They pick up on that.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
So scoot in a little closer, please.
All right, so
Just scoot up to the mic.
I'm fine. I like being like this.
Okay.
So, as I was saying before, have you guys all watched the show The Game on the CW?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes.
Yeah, it's like
Maury,
the
Charles.
early seasons, not anything.
But were you a
recent.
fan?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, the actor who played Derwin Davis, Pooch Hall, yeah, he was arrested for a DUI and allegedly letting his 2-year-old son drive. So,
What?
I'm done.
yes.
I gotta hear this story.
Yes.
Let
okay,
Cherice
so
go first on that
I'm
one.
going to read the whole story for y'all. Actor Pooch Hall was arrested on Wednesday night for a DUI and felony in child endangerment. Reports have that he allegedly let his 2-year-old son drive because he was too intoxicated to steer the wheel. Law enforcement sources told the site that the actor was driving in Burbank around 7:30 p.m. when witnesses called police after seeing his son in his lap holding the steering wheel. Witnesses said they were scared to watch the car shift and smash into a parked car. Thankfully, there were no injuries reported. Police arrived and smelled a strong odor of alcohol and said Pooch could barely walk. His blood levels were obviously, I'm pretty sure, exceeding what the average or what the
How the heck?
Okay, so that's Darwin or no?
Yeah,
Derwin. Yes, and I
Okay.
love Derwin. How do you feel about that?
I just need to know what happened prior to. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just wondering,
Yeah.
how did you end up
Right.
With your 2-year-old with you.
That intoxicated,
Right.
passed out with your 2-year-old at the wheel.
And he has a wife, so I'm like, did he leave the house when the wife was there and she let him take the child?
I
He was intoxicated. Like, I don't understand.
I do not approve.
Yeah.
But I need to know.
Yeah.
What's going
Curious
on?
minds need to know.
That is crazy.
What the heck?
I feel so
Because he could have
bad.
called an Uber.
He could have called.
He could teach that boy how to call an Uber better than have him drive him.
He's 2 years old.
Well, that's better than having him drive him.
I would expect that from what's the dark skinned guy?
Oh, the crazy,
The crazy
Malik,
one.
Jose
Malik.
Sanchez.
Yes, I would expect that from
Jose.
him.
Yeah, no, it's unfortunate. I love me some Pooch Hall. Or Derwin.
Maybe him and Melanie got
I
an
didn't like the way he
argument.
did Melanie though.
Because they
He
used to
didn't do-
argue back and forth.
Yeah, he didn't do
Him
Melanie
and
good.
Melanie are not together.
It's karma.
a
That's
show.
karma. That's what it is. Remember how he did Melanie at the end? I
So
didn't
was
like
that the baby he had with that other girl?
What other?
Ooh.
You get on my nerves.
I'm
Talking
done.
about 2 different lifestyles.
Well,
She
hey.
crossing
You
reality.
going in and out of reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, in and out of reality.
But it was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, but karma. That's what karma get.
That's sad. I feel bad for him though. I really do.
Yeah, but that's retarded.
But why? You feel bad for him based on his role?
Has he been working a lot lately? Maybe he just been stressing and.
He's been working, I think. He was on this one show on HBO.
Yeah. Oh, and that
not
was a
too
good
long
show.
ago,
The
yeah.
one I
Really?
used to watch. I
I
can't
forgot
think
what
of
the
it.
name of it was.
It was the boxing, and the guy from the werewolf movie was on there.
I almost had it too. Dang,
I
I
love
almost
that.
had the name. Ray Donovan?
Ray Donovan.
Yeah, there
yes,
you
he
I
was
don't
on
know
there.
that show. Me either.
Oh, you guys.
The only show I've seen him on is
What's
The
the
Game.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the brother on Ray Donovan.
I'm not familiar with that.
Pooch
either.
Hall.
Get it together.
Get it all.
The way together.
Yeah, because a 2-year-old should be in a car seat.
Yeah, that's what
Wait a minute. I just thought about this. He had the 2-year-old
On
driving.
his lap, driving,
Yes.
holding the steering wheel.
So he controlling the gas, so that still don't
But they
work.
ran into something. That's the thing.
How
But
drunk
what
was
if?
he?
But even if the kid could steer well, if he hitting the gas or not hitting the
It
gas,
doesn't
that could
matter.
cause a
Yeah,
problem.
Exactly.
Girl, that is
He has
a
some
hot
health
mess.
issues going on.
Yeah, something. So that's what I say. Something.
He had
definitely.
something serious going on emotionally.
Cause she left him. I'm telling you.
Who? Melanie?
Yeah,
I'm over it.
she got with another doctor.
So tell me how y'all would feel if your toddler, 2-year-olds, as we were just talking about, accidentally shredded over $1,000 of their
No, it was
parents' cash.
$2,000. I seen that. It was $2,000. Well, somebody else posted it and said $2,000. It could have been $1,000, but by the time I seen
Ain't
it,
the shit $1. We got a problem. Shit. They shred $1. We got some
But
issues.
the sad part is, him and his wife were saving up the money to pay for their Utah football tickets. And they pulled out the money yesterday to pay the mom for the season, I guess. And they couldn't find the envelope until the wife checked in the shredder.
Oh, yeah.
They can't tape it back
a
up.
long walk.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd be like,
I'll go to the bank and throw all that on the counter. Y'all need to get my money. Shit.
didn't they call the Federal Reserve or something or no?
I don't even, let me see.
Man.
It doesn't say anything like that over here.
Oh, that
I'd
little
have
kid
to
to
go
get shredded.
meditate for a little bit.
Girl, for a
Be
day.
like, take it, go in the other room.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta
Wow,
think
that's
this
why
through.
you can't let your kids see everything you're doing and
Yeah.
stuff. So.
Somebody said this is why I don't like kids.
Yeah, I me either in that situation. Oh my God.
That is bad.
Yeah, that's
It could have been a gift certificate and I'd have been pissed off.
I don't know
Shit.
about meditating, Sherice. I might have whooped their ass. I would have whooped my kid
That's
ass.
what somebody said. It sounds like a whooping.
But was it a
waiting to
cross
happen.
shredder or just a string
No, it was
shredder?
shredded. It was a
I think I
shredder.
saw it. It looked like a legit shredder.
So
Shred.
these, but the cross ones you can't put it back together. You know how it's shred
Oh,
this
like
way and
little
then.
teeny tiny
Yeah,
ones.
it's
Oh,
They're
no.
long.
Oh,
Shit.
we'll be taping that up.
Shit, I can't.
Somebody just shredded your money in the back?
I would be taping that money up.
No, I would take it somewhere and be like, hey, can y'all make this work? Because I'm pretty sure they could weigh the money, because, you know, like technology now, like when I cash out at
They
work,
should be
they
able to
weigh
take
the
it
money
somewhere.
and that tells them how much money.
Well, they better get the
I have.
weighing
So they should
shit.
be able to weigh or something and turn all them dollars in.
$2,000. Oh my goodness.
Oh my
I'll be
goodness.
hurt.
So my answer is I don't know. I probably
How
would
the
have whooped
kid-
their ass.
How the hell they know how to get to the envelope? Because mine would be so high up, they couldn't even make it to the envelope.
But how would a
High
2-year-old
up in a box.
Yeah,
Right.
locked.
The blanket.
But how true
tied.
is that story? How's a 2-year-old shredding money?
How do they not hear the shredder going?
Yeah.
Maybe
So
they don't-
something
some
ain't
people-
right.
it's some people don't really pay their kids too much attention.
But
I
what
bet
if they
you-
lied and they just shredded up some counterfeit money to pretend like that they had some real money?
They don't know about the paper though.
Yeah, I think the
Yeah,
kids
that's true.
shredded the money. You know, kids will kind of do anything nowadays if you let them.
I know, especially if he saw his parents shredding stuff.
Bills and
Right.
stuff.
Exactly.
Come at bills out of an envelope, money in the
I'm
envelope.
helping mommy and daddy out by shredding this stuff. That's what he was probably thinking. He or she.
Y'all they better go drive that car and help that man get home and leave my damn money alone. Shit, that's crazy.
I'm so done with life.
Okay.
I feel like we're on a child spurt.
You got another one?
Yeah, well, kind of, sort of. It's just a question. So, what's the dumbest thing you believed as a child? And I have one that a few of my family members have told to me before. But Cherice, Cherice, do you need to think on that? Or do you have one off the top of your head?
I don't think anybody else would think it was dumb except for my mom because she made it up and she thought it was the funniest thing in her whole entire life. But one time we went camping and she made up this whole entire story about how there's wild cows. I had to have been 8 or 9 or something. So my mom's a huge storyteller and she made up this whole entire story about how wild cows are they eat living things. They don't eat grass and stuff, and that's why there's cattle rails and whatever. Keep the wild ones.
They would eat humans.
Yeah, and I believed it 100%. And then a few hours later, when we were driving around up north, in the woods and stuff, I saw a few cows, and I exclaimed with excitement, oh my god, there's some wild cows! And my mom has never let me live it down to this day because I was just. Some people call it vulnerable. I call it trusting. I'm a trusting
it's your mother.
person. Yes. Right. But she used to crack jokes like that all the time, and I would just always fall for them. But that was the biggest one that she would, to this day, will mention at parties and whatnot. Oh, Cherice believe this one story. You know? But yeah, I think that was probably and Santa Claus, of course. Oh yeah. I sat out, camped out,
I heard him.
Blanket.
He said he got some new boots. I heard him when he was on 19th Avenue, but I think he was on a helicopter at that point. But he had some new boots, some new black boots. Santa Claus.
She believed in Santa Claus.
I heard it. I heard him.
Okay,
I'm trying to think of what mine would be. That you said as a child.
Can I say mine for y'all to think?
I got one
let me
already.
think mine. I could just say.
Go ahead and think. I have one.
Okay, if you have one, go
I
ahead.
got one after you.
Okay, so your kids contributed to this wild story. So there is a graveyard right off of the I-17 when you're going south. When you're coming from the 10 and getting on the 17, that graveyard right there.
Yeah, that when you're going around that curve, you have to look that. If you're in that one lane,
your
you always.
kids told me that if I pointed at a graveyard, my finger would fall off.
See, that's what mine was.
They told me that, and I kept looking at my finger. But Bigfoot. I remember we used to think it was a Bigfoot.
Oh yeah.
How you just don't? You didn't even let me finish the whole story.
Oh well, I slid mine in, but go ahead.
She just took over.
I just fought for some airtime. Sorry.
Here you go with the takeover spirit.
Takeover spirit. I'm taking over this. Now we're talking about Bigfoot. You called me out, but no, I remember that I did the same thing. I kept checking my finger. I can't remember what finger I pointed with, and then I kept imagining myself
and
with that finger.
Sometimes instead of pointing, I would go like this. I would just go like that at the window to see if my finger would fall through. It never would.
But they may have gotten that from us though, because we were told that as young kids, that if you point at a graveyard, I used to hear, your finger will fall off. So we taught them that. Our grandma probably taught us, or did teach us. We taught them, and then they taught her.
I think it was probably like a sign of respect. I'm wondering if that's where it comes from. I wonder if it has something to do with respect.
Okay, I know what mine would be. But then it wasn't as a kid.
Well, can we finish talking about Bigfoot then? I said I was going to go after her because you didn't have yours.
So, it would have been. Then I would have been next.
Go ahead, Rambo.
Bigfoot.
That's all you gotta say is Bigfoot.
She just want to say Bigfoot so
You don't
bad.
remember when we was at Suzette's house one time when they was saying Bigfoot kept jumped across the fence and was going through yard to yard to yard. You don't remember that?
Bigfoot, I don't remember that story, but the
something.
Bigfoot one could be a good one for me.
It was something.
Y'all just took both of mine, so
think. Put your
the only thing I could think of, it wasn't as a kid, but just as an adult. If the head of your bed is
facing a certain way,
facing to the left, you have bad dreams because that's how they bury the dead.
The body's laid if you head to the east or something, because your head is laying the way that dead bodies in the ground lying up.
I heard that too.
But I don't know how true. That's why my bed.
Yeah, my bed isn't facing that. Wait.
No,
mine is, and I sleep good. Mine is to the east.
Oh, yours is to the east.
Yeah, mine is to the east.
So, and that wasn't as a kid. That was more as a.
What'd you say?
I have to rearrange. My first time hearing that.
go home scooting stuff around.
Baby, we ain't going to bed tonight till this bed is not facing the east, like the head of your bed. But mine is to the east, and I sleep well.
So it's probably not true then. It's probably
I heard that one too, and I would be tripping sometimes. I'll be like, wait, which way is my bed?
Did she do that? Like which way?
Yeah.
Hold on, I gotta figure this
See,
out.
so our family is real superstitious, so that's where we get a whole bunch of that stuff from.
Yeah, speaking of superstitions, like I guess you could say like, I don't know, I'm gonna just say a superstition that kind of annoys me more than anything. Why did he split the pole? Like
that's an annoying one for me too. That or the step on the crack.
Or sweeping your foot.
No, the sweeping the foot.
I step on all kind of cracks.
I gotta spit on your broom if you sweep my foot. Don't you just putting your saliva on the bottom of my broom? Like, no.
Yeah. They say you go to jail if somebody sweep your foot.
What? Well, I swept my own foot the other day.
So you going to jail?
No, don't say that.
Don't put it out there.
Yeah, no, I would not do good in there. That is not the place for me.
Mm-mm.
At all. Oh
Did you guys grow up superstitious or not really?
Not really.
Mm-hmm.
Not really.
Not really.
No, I'm kind of like torn because her dad wasn't superstitious, so I'll be like, make it work for me. Like if a black cat crossed my path, I'm like, I ain't done this, I ain't worried, but I'm keep driving. Then do a little prayer and keep going and call it in.
Knowing you really scared on the inside.
Only thing maybe with the broom thing, sometimes I still spit on it because I don't want it. I secretly go spit in the corner.
I'm so done with you. All right. So, American Airlines flight has to make a detour after a passenger refuses to stop doing pull-ups on the overhead cabinet.
Oh,
I feel like they were on their way to some workout convention and they had to make sure they were
Where
right
were they
for
going?
It. Go
I'm
viral.
about to tell you. So, from Phoenix to Boston. So, was it somebody from Phoenix? Oh my gosh.
They could have been. No, they don't mean they was from Phoenix.
They might have been from, you never
Or they could have been going home.
The possibility could be.
Possibility, yeah. 50-50. Well, they could be from anywhere in the world. But so an American Airlines flight going from Phoenix to Boston reportedly had to land in Kansas City due to this very matter. Wow. A witness on the flight told the news station that the unidentified man boarded the flight with 2 dogs and appeared to be drunk. Oh, so that's why. Never mind. He wasn't going nowhere.
Going to jail because that's federal. That's federal.
Wasn't going nowhere. What do you think about that, Cherice?
That people are crazy, man. I don't know. That's just wild. It's just wild. The world's getting crazier. I feel like. Well, we're finding out about all these crazy things just because of technology. But people are crazy.
It's been happening.
I don't know. Yeah, people are crazy. That's all I can say about that.
How many pull-ups was he doing?
Guinness Book of World Records.
So he must have just got up and they're like, you know how you're free to roam the cabin.
Right.
So when they said that, he must have got up and just got to going.
And so right after that, then they pull over. I would be pissed.
Well, they probably tried to stop.
They probably had some turbulence.
Yeah.
He didn't want to sit down and play. He's like, no, this is a challenge.
I'd have did some turbulence and
Yeah.
slung his ass all over that plane.
I would have been pissed, but then I still would have wanted to pull over because if they couldn't stop him, that means his mental wasn't right. But they couldn't make him stop.
So when they landed, was he still going to the police?
I don't know, but to be honest, that reminds me of that one show called Airline. That old show back in the day, it was on A&E, I think. Mm-hmm. Have you heard of that?
They said
I've never heard of
Southwest.
it.
No, yeah, it was like, okay, so it wasn't necessarily just like a certain airline, but it would be like, it was a show based around like people being late on their flights
at the
and
airport.
getting mad or being drunk and not being able to
Was
get
it
on
reality?
their
More of a
flights.
reality? Okay.
But it was real
show.
stuff
It was
of reality.
real.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I don't know, it just reminded me of that because a lot of people wouldn't be able to get on the flights because they was drunk. We're not going to let you go here.
So he
And it was
lucky.
pre 9/11 or post
No,
9/11.
post.
So he
lucky.
lucky. He lucky he
Yeah.
got on that plane with them 2 dogs.
Yeah, 2 dogs.
What was the dogs trying to do the pull-ups too?
Right.
I would be pissed, but I would be running to stop though.
Yeah, because I would need him off that plane from me. And that space is too small for a weirdo like that to be on there with me.
Right.
Anything can happen.
All right, so we got a few more topics for the night. So this one is just kind of, I don't know. I just want to get y'all opinion on it. Excuse me. So according to recent resources that I have just researched, and I'm just making stuff up. I'm just playing. All right, so New York City now has a $15,000 a month penthouse solely for Instagram influencers to take photographs. Would you
15? Oh, go! I forgot, Cherice.
$15,000 a month. Would you pay $15,000 a month for a penthouse? It's a luxury penthouse just to take photos. And this is like, I'm pretty sure, like the living room of the penthouse. That's what
That
it looks
isn't
like.
even worth 15,000. No, I would not. No, I wouldn't pay any type of money like that to take.
Because you
could
go
stay
to
at
a
a
nice
nice
Instagram
hotel.
influencer,
Yeah. You could save
I'm a
it.
crafty person.
Yeah.
So I make do with what I have. Those are for non-crafty people.
That's not creative.
that
Non-creative
can't-
people.
yeah,
You could use your own money and make your own place.
But listen, this is their like marketing gimmick. They are able to have a place that's a home to shoot lifestyle home moments in.
That's so fake
So
because
it's
it's
fake,
done.
yeah. Hey, some people, that's the reality.
Yeah.
Like and there's a market for that. So whoever's renting that place out, kudos to you. Like,
But
you
the
are
thing
not
is
gonna
if
be-
you have $15,000 to pay a month, why don't you have a nice place already? Okay,
Get somebody to clean it up if it's dirty when you're ready to take
that's
pictures.
like retarded. Unless
Yeah,
they
I
getting
would
that
decorate.
$15,000 from their sugar daddy to go. That's
No, I still take his money.
Stupid.
I still take his money and decorate my stuff. Not
And then
somebody
I'll
else.
go get a suite. You can get corporate suites for a whole month, cheaper than that. Girl, please.
They want it to look chic and
New York.
fabulous.
Let me
right?
see that
I'm
again.
sure there's people that have looked into it.
Right.
It can't. It's a reason.
I just
It's
don't
a reason
think
why
it's
they
worth
doing
it.
To them, it is because they want to look
Girl,
fabulous.
that look like the
And
80s.
some people can't decorate.
That look like the 80s to me.
But
Well,
some
that's
people,
what I'm
what is that? That mid-century modern look?
Yeah.
And it's just because it's in New
In
York.
New York,
Yeah.
right.
What is it, downtown Manhattan?
I don't think it's safe.
See, if it's not, that's even worse. Better put me
Yeah.
smack dab in the middle of Times
Yeah.
Square.
Okay.
At the top.
Hanging off the edge somewhere.
Yes.
and it
With a jacuzzi or something.
Yeah.
Like we gotta have some
and it
type of
rotates so you can
amenities.
change your view.
A whole nother world.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the last question for the night, and this is something that I heard today of people speaking about. So, do you feel that your significant other has to have a curfew as to when they come back home at a certain time of night?
Girl, you better let her know first. Jesus.
No.
Okay.
No. I feel like me and my significant other were so extremely communicative that that wouldn't even be a problem. Like, yeah. I'm pretty chill, like laid back as long as you're communicative with me.
5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, that's good.
She getting riled up right now.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
I honestly don't picture that happening.
No, but we're
if
just saying.
it was to happen,
Got some
I'm the
things.
type of person that we're going to have a discussion before I exert my energy into being any type of feeling type of way. You
Putting
know?
your authority out there.
Exactly. So, yeah, I'd be cool with it. Yeah. Communication is key.
Yeah, that does help.
Why do
But
I
it's
have
not-
to go behind you sounding all nice and sweet?
Yeah, communication is key.
Communication
unplugging-
is key, but
I'm
I don't
unplugging
know.
garage door openers. Now you got to
I
knock on the
think
door.
that it has to be stages. Like, I guess maybe it
It gotta
depends
be
on
re-
where you at in the relationship. It depends on how far they try to test your authority.
And what are they doing? They may be working.
Exactly. That's
Yeah, so
communication.
Yeah.
Y'all know y'all.
I'm a
If you don't talk to
communicate.
me and then all of a sudden you bust through the door at 6 o'clock in the morning and I'm like,
yeah.
where have
That's
you been?
different,
yeah.
Or why haven't you been answering your
Phone.
phone? Then yeah, that's a different
Or if
story.
they're the type that go out all the time,
Yeah.
yes. Then I think yes, you have to
Put a
set down.
curfew?
Yeah, you have to put some
So
rules
what
down.
is your? Rules down.
You gotta
So-
you do it. You gotta put it down. I mean,
what would be your ideal time?
so depending on like maybe 3.
Oh, hell no. I still have a problem with that.
3.
I would.
And it just depends on, like I said, like what are they doing? How often are they doing
Yeah,
it?
that's true.
Where are they
The
at?
person.
Yeah, who the person is, yeah.
Right.
But I would say 3 would probably be the maximum.
So you said significant other?
Yeah.
So at this point in my life, to have a significant other, then he would have to be perfect. So
What? Nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect.
he would have to be perfect in my eyes. So I don't know.
He got to be home at 11:30.
Yeah, before midnight. Get your ass home.
He isn't even going to want to stay out that long.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Get your ass home, boy.
And it depends on their age, so it's a lot of things. You know.
Yeah, because they too damn old, they ass.
They ass in the bed before you and trying to give you a curfew. Shit.
Okay, yeah, give me a
On your
curfew.
TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's,
What about you?
I don't really
What if somebody wanted you to have a curfew?
No.
Oh, okay. You like, no?
Yeah, but like I don't stay out late like that. Like I don't stay out late doing stuff that I'm not supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? So like,
who said that's what they're doing late at night? They could be working somewhere.
ain't nothing open past 2:00.
Some of his legs.
Is what Beyonce
Okay.
said.
Okay.
That's
So
what I
your
heard.
ass be home by 12.
If they hanging out with the homies, no, they need to be their ass home.
And homie need to go take his ass home too.
So do you think that you should give curfews if they just hanging out with their boys all the time?
No, but see, you saying all the time.
Well, I'm just saying, like,
I don't know.
a lot.
I've been on the spectrum of both sides of where I've like been wanting to like know every second of the night type thing, and then I've gotten to this point now where I'm just like, I'm so detached when it comes to like relationships that like now it's like I'm only focused on what I'm doing. So if they were to do something that they're not supposed to be doing, like that's on them type thing.
Right.
Gotcha.
And I just need to focus on what I'm doing, and that's why I allow that freedom, is because like if they really, care about me, if they really are, if
You
this is
wouldn't
real,
have to.
then
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to even,
Exactly.
have to
Do a
say
curfew.
that. So
Exactly.
No, that's true.
yeah.
That's my perfect man.
That's my perfect man. On that note, we're gonna go take a break and eat on.
Why are you sounding like that? We're gonna get vegan.
We gonna get vegan. That's a good slogan. We gonna get vegan.
I'm telling you, baby.
We got
some
vegan,
shirts say,
vegan.
I'm vegan.
Hey, yeah. Hey, that's a good one.
Okay.
Like a little vegan and
Vegan,
a big
then a
vegan.
big vegan.
I'm vegan.
Vegan.
That's a good one. That's a great idea.
Because all the vegans
Heard
I've
here
met
on
so
SittingPretty.
okay, all the vegans I met, they
Get
just
it, girl.
vegan.
I'm so done with y'all. All right, let's go eat on
Some
some
vegan
food.
Don't put no damn ice cream on that.
Okay.
Got to make a stupid names. My ice 10 times, rain. You better back up before you get got. I'ma knock you with my rose gold wristwatch. Y'all think this is a game, but I'm spitting facts. My middle name, Bushy, so you know it's raps. Yeah, double C's on my eyes, so I'm seeing clear. Just left the dealership, I'm a swerve and stare. On the loop 202, and I'm heading near you. What? Okay, I might just pull up in the Accord, but don't worry, got the X3 keys in the door. What more can y'all even ask for? Fan first, pod son, sitting pretty, we on, yeah, we about to be litty on the moon, and we got new work coming real soon. And as for you should have been on.
Get ready,
We about to take over
ready.
the whole damn
We
zone.
are back with episode. Are y'all alright?
Please
over
quit
there?
talking
There ain't
like
no
that.
more banana bread on that plate.
No, I know, I'm done.
Oh,
I'm good.
Why y'all scoot it to the side like that?
She's acting up.
No, she putting it on my side, in my space. But she good now.
Y'all
Put
tripping.
it in the middle.
Anyways, let's go ahead and tell the listeners about how we just had some amazing vegan, soy-free, and gluten-free banana bread.
It was vegan? It tastes so good.
Oh my god, it
I
was
was
amazing.
like, did you not hear what she said?
It was really
amazing.
good. You did awesome.
Yep. Well, some.
It's one more piece, right?
No, it's 2.
Oh, well, it sounds like 2 will be leaving with us.
No, I need some for my ice cream. Don't forget.
It was really tasty. You did it
It
awesome.
was
job.
good.
I'm
Thank
glad
you
you
so
guys
much.
liked it. It's one of my
Don't let me
favorites.
find out where you live.
Super easy.
Yeah. Do you feed people when they come to your door hungry?
It hasn't happened yet.
It just may.
But if it
If it
does,
was to happen, I wouldn't turn anybody away.
Okay.
Well, maybe if they come one too many times, you might
Yeah,
have to
we
turn
might have to put a
people
limit
away.
You
on
gotta put,
Okay,
some,
you gotta
put
go.
some money on this next time to help pay for some groceries.
did you enjoy our vegan spread?
Yes, it was amazing.
We did a simple one.
Yes, no, it was great. I absolutely loved it. I'm definitely going to go back and get some more of that bean salad. But yeah, it was awesome. You guys are amazing.
Thank
you. Thank you.
And this martini.
Yes.
No, let's not forget about that.
Yeah, cheers.
So, now that we are... Hello? I sound like I'm from like a different time zone.
You got to
or
bring the
something.
thing closer to you.
No, that's not what it is. It just got messed up.
With what?
Yeah, you put... Okay, cool beans. We are back in action.
I can't with her.
I was just waiting for one of y'all to stop me.
Stop it.
I was gonna let me keep on going. Keep on going.
Yeah, keep
All
going.
right. As we stated before, we have Miss Cherice Love here with us tonight, and this half is all about you. So get ready. Are you ready?
I am. Let's do this.
Get ready. All right. So when we first start off, I usually just ask like a general question in order for you to just like get to talking and telling us a little bit about yourself, even though we kind of learned a lot about you off the mic. But for on the mic, so just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what high school you went to, even though we already know that.
Where you grew up.
All right. So, I'm born and raised from Phoenix, Arizona, here on the west side.
South side.
West side.
I went to Millennium High School, and I pretty much grew up on the west side my whole entire life. I'm a vegan chef. I'm also a blogger. I'm also a coach, a vegan coach, transition coach. And then I also am a singer. I'm a writer. I'm a poet. I do spoken word. I draw. I create. I'm just a creator. So
Right.
that's me.
Okay, so how did you get into, is veganism?
Yeah.
That's a word?
I was wondering that too.
Yeah.
I almost used it the other day,
veganism.
but I wasn't sure.
Totally a word. So veganism, man. About 3 years ago, my significant other at the time, he had mentioned that he wanted to start reducing our intake of red meat. And prior to that, we had stopped eating pork, it was probably 6 years ago. And so, when he mentioned that he wanted to start reducing the red meat intake, me being the cook of the house, I sort of had to start experimenting and exploring new recipes and new ways to create these meals. And then when he said that he eventually wanted to eliminate meat altogether, I thought he was doing a little bit too much at the time. Mm-hmm. Again, I'm the one that has to cook everything.
Exactly.
I'm going to have to do everything, so... but what really changed my mind about it was when I went to lunch with my grandma. Mm-hmm. My grandma comes into town. She's from Wyoming. She comes into town around the Christmas time period, around the winter, and she took me to lunch, and... I knew that she has celiac disease. I've always known that she had celiac disease, but
What's that?
Celiac disease is an extreme intolerance to gluten, which comes from wheat.
Okay.
And a lot of people actually have an intolerance to gluten, but celiac disease is the extreme side, where if she eats too much gluten, her skin will swell up. She has inflammation so bad that her skin will crack and start peeling and bleeding, and it's really bad, and it's really bad on her health too. So I knew that she had that, and she had a specific diet, but I never really paid attention prior to that specific lunch with her 3 years ago. And considering that we were starting to remove things from our diets, I started asking her questions about what she does with her diet and why she doesn't eat gluten and what exactly is her celiac disease and whatnot. So she started, explaining her story and her lifestyle of having to do a rotating diet, just so she can enjoy things that she likes. Mm-hmm. And, that conversation then trickled into the rest of my family, and she ended up letting me know that my aunt actually is allergic to everything under the sun. Any food allergy that you can think of, apparently she is allergic. Mm-hmm. That she can't even do a rotating diet, that she pretty much has given up and just said, forget it. I'm just going to take these reactions, to the head, and I'm just going to eat whatever I want, pretty much. And when my grandma told me that, I was like, that's no life to live. I wanted, I've explained to you guys, and I've mentioned this before, that I've struggled with acne my whole entire life. So it was I've been trying to figure that out. Mm-hmm. And just the fact that, there is a history on that side of my family with health, issues, dealing with gluten and various, different foods and whatnot. I just eventually after that conversation, just really opened my eyes, and I really wanted to dive more into it. Not only does my grandma have celiac disease, but she also has had open heart surgery. She has a pacemaker. My grandfather, at the time when I went to lunch with her, he had a pacemaker too.
and he's no longer here. But my dad also had open heart surgery when I was a sophomore in high school. Yeah, there's health issues on the side. And then my uncle also has had a form of cancer as well. So just after that conversation, I was like, okay.
What can I do?
Something I need to double check my health and my history, make sure that I'm not carrying anything that everybody else has, you know, and you know, my uncle had a history of like having acne issues and whatnot, and my dad had you know, having sensitive skin, and everybody on that side of the family has sensitive skin and whatnot. So it was like, okay, maybe this will help, like, you know, veganism will help with my skin and whatnot. So yeah, after that conversation was when I was like, all right, let's do this. And I just started researching more and more, and I've done so many experiments. Like just with my own self, like just to figure out my own body and what works with it and what doesn't over the last 3 years. That now I just found out that I don't necessarily have a direct gluten intolerance, but I've actually had a virus. It's a streptococcus virus. It's non-contagious, and it's not the actual like strep throat virus. There's different kinds of that kind of virus. And I have the one that the reaction that my body gives is that it causes acne, specifically breaking out in the lymph nodes and like around the neck area, which is where I break out. And so like,
and you figured that out on your own?
I figured that out on my own. I actually have another friend. She's she was vegan. I don't think she's 100% vegan now. Like she eats honey and like different things for her diet. But my friend Nicole, I went to high school with her, and she is a chef too, and she lives in Dubai. And she actually started following this diet. I don't even want to call it a diet, but a lifestyle change. It's called Medical Medium. This book is called Medical Medium, and it's by this doctor that he is an intuitive doctor. And he basically has created this book that it like helps with this specific virus and other viruses and other diseases and stuff like that, because fruit is like a very healing food. Super healing, super hydrating, super good for your body and your skin and your digestive system. And she started posting about like the different recipes and her journey and how she struggled, and she has before and after pictures. So I reached out to her one morning and it just clicked. I was like, I think I have this. Like, I honestly think that that's what this is. And then when I talked to her about it, and she said like, yeah, gluten feeds it, animal protein feeds it, dairy feeds the virus. Even taking, like if I was to take an antibiotic, it feeds the virus. Like there's no antibiotic that can actually take it away. You literally have to do it holistically to rid the virus from your body.
Really?
And what she also told me, it's really crazy. What she also told me is that that back in the day, like the antibiotics that they had back in the day, because I actually have always had an ear, nose, and throat issue. I was born with underdeveloped eustachian tubes, and I had to get tubes put in my ears, and I had them from the time I was like 4 until I was like 9 or 10. I've always had a very weak immune system just for that reason, because I was born with a weakened immune system. And I've always had strep throat. I had ear infections growing up until I started getting surgeries, and I got tubes put in my ears. I had my tonsils removed, my adenoids removed. My tonsils grew back in high school. So it was like it all made sense to me. So then I ordered the book, and she like gave me some pointers and stuff. And I want to say it's been like 4 months, and if I was to show you guys like before and after pictures, and all I do is eat like fruit, like literally, like I was explaining to you guys earlier, like my body's just been craving a lot more raw stuff now, and fruit especially, like and it's crazy because I was actually craving the fruits that kill the virus before I looked into what fruits kill the virus.
Which kind of fruit is it?
And what really kills the virus? Bananas are like the number one. So like I eat anywhere from like 5 to 8 bananas a day, and that's just because I want to, not just because I'm forcing myself to. That's because my body's just like, ooh, banana. Yeah, banana. But bananas are like the number one killer of the virus. Mangoes are another major killer. There's also wild blueberries. And there's also cantaloupe. I actually just started eating cantaloupe today. Yeah, like melons are super hydrating, and it helps cleanse your digestive system. And so like I've been eating like so much fruit. And I just have been like, you have to boost your immune system. Yeah. And so like during that process, and I want to say that veganism led me to that, because like in order for you to stay connected to your body, or even just get connected, reconnected to your body, because that's what our bodies are. They're communication centers. Veganism helps clear that communication line. So like when you aren't vegan, you aren't necessarily hearing your body correctly and what it needs and what it needs to heal, because that's what it was created to do, was to heal itself. And I've gotten to that point where I eat so clean now that I literally will crave stuff before I look it up, and then I look up like, I'm not feeling very well, what do I need? And I look it up and I'm like, oh, I was already eating that.
Because your body was craving it.
My body was craving it, yeah, and that's why I love veganism, yes.
You had a question about your grandmother saying a rotating diet. What does that consist?
Yeah, rotating diet, so basically, like, she has, like, so, like, if she was to have, like, toast in the morning, then she couldn't have toast for, like, after, or another piece of gluten, like, after a certain amount of time. So, like, she basically, like, rotates certain items into her diet, so that way she doesn't, like, completely eliminate, because she doesn't want to let go of it all, but she can still enjoy, quote unquote, you know, everything.
Certain things.
Yeah, certain things. Yeah, for sure. And it's crazy because it's, like, everything that she restricts herself from, I can pretty much almost, like, create it now. So it's like, I share stuff with her sometimes, like, I found out that a majority of pickles are not gluten-free, surprisingly, because of the vinegar. I've seen that on one of your, yeah, because of the vinegar in them, and I texted her about it, and she was like, I was like, Grandma, did you know that, you know, a majority of pickles aren't gluten-free? She's like, no, I didn't. So, like, I share, like, little things like that with her, too, so that way she doesn't have to, like, you know, completely eliminate and whatnot. But, yeah, that's how I got into veganism, and once I started it, it's like I have not turned back.
So you're not turning back at all?
No, I don't have a desire to. I don't crave anything. I don't want to. I'm so connected not only to my body, but to animals now that it's like I couldn't. Even if I wouldn't want to, but if I wanted, I couldn't. Like, my body's just so past that point now. Yeah.
So during your transition of, what was the hardest part, or what was the hardest thing?
I would say, like, baked goods and dairy products, because a lot of dairy products are in baked goods, and I have a sweet tooth. So, like, you know, grabbing, like, a muffin or something like that, like, that has eggs and dairy products in it. So it was, like, little things like that was the hardest. And those were, like, the last of everything to go. It was, like, I finally, because I was working at this job, and everybody would bring in freaking, you know, like, donuts and, like, muffins. So I would, like, cave in. That was, like, the time that I would cave in. And finally I got to that point where I was just like, no, I'm not going to take it. Nope. And it just got to that point where I'm just like, I don't have a desire to. If I know that it's not vegan, then I don't have a desire to. Because, again, my body, like, I'll react to it like that if it's not vegan or gluten and soy-free. Like, my body's super sensitive. So
at what point did you want to start, like, doing the recipes? Is that what it was? Like, you like sweet, so you're like, I'm going to figure out a way, or? I started, like, just looking up things that I was craving. Like, I'm like, man, I really want some Alfredo. Like, I'm a foodie. Like, I love food. I've always been a foodie my whole entire life. And, like, I eat a lot, too. So it was like, I really had to, like, start exploring. And when I started exploring and experimenting, when I would have, you know, a success, I'd post it, you know, nothing professional or anything legit. I just post, like, a video or a picture on, like, my social media. All of a sudden, people start coming in my inbox, and they're like, what is veganism? How did you make that? Can you send me that recipe? How did you make this? Can you send me some of your recipes? And so, like, I ended up writing up, like, a whole entire, like, intro to veganism email. And it had, like, the basics, like, just the very, like, basics of what veganism is and what it isn't and what it does include and what it doesn't include. And then I attached, like, 3 or 4 or 5 recipes, my main ones that are super easy, like, the easy ones, like, spaghetti is super easy to transition and to replace things and things like that. And I ended up sending it, like, out to, like, over, I don't know, like, somewhere between, like, 30 people, around 30 people. And it was, like, the more I kept posting it, somebody finally, like, mentioned, like, hey, like, you need to do something with this because, like, you're very informational and you're very helpful. Like, you really should, like, look into doing that. And my older sister, she's my mentor. And when I mentioned that to her, she's like, yeah, maybe you should make it into a blog. And I was like, you know what, that's a good idea. So I then took about, like, 6 months to, like, write out the beginnings part of my blog. That's, like, all the hard info. Like, for example, like, just the intro to veganism, the protein myth, you know, how
overall nutrition. That's a lot of research that you have to put into that. And so like I did that, and then I started taking pictures and like getting my recipes together, and then I released it. I've had my blog up now for like almost a year and a half come December. So and then now it's turned from the blog, now it's just blossomed into food services. And now I love cooking and baking for other people. I love cooking for other people. Like I just love it. Like your guys' reactions to the brunch that I catered back in January is just like that. I just love it. I really do. It's not only an art form for me, but I'm a nurturer. So like when I make stuff and people like it, and I know that it's good for them too, and they're like ranting. It feeds my soul. It really feeds my soul, you know. And so like now I do a meal of the week. Every single week I have a vegan meal that's vegan, gluten, and soy free. That I do delivery and pickups on Sundays. And then I also do catering for events, small events, or even if you wanted to, like, for example, if you guys wanted to put on like a family event, like to go over veganism, I can come into your home and cook dinner for you guys and do an educational service for you while I'm cooking and explaining what I'm cooking, how I'm cooking it. So you guys not only get a lesson, you guys get information on the lifestyle, and you guys get dinner that night too, because I would be making it for you. So I have like other those primary services that I offer, and then I do customize, you know, plans, whatever. I've done out of state. I've actually done freezer food for somebody in LA.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Like we worked out a deal where we were able to get everything frozen, and you know everything worked out great for that too. So I'm looking into possibly like eventually in the next year doing like, you know, actually sending out food and
to where they just are warming it up at home and that's it?
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
Super cool. Yeah, I love it. I love it. It's my life, pretty much. Cooking's my life.
It's like an Amazon Prime type thing.
Goodness, it definitely. Oh my goodness. So it just basically went from a blog to meal preparation.
Yeah, I never.
And catering.
Yeah, like I've always liked cooking, but like. Even some of the recipes that I do now, like I never made them regular. Like I never made an Alfredo homemade regular, like with the milk and everything. I never made a homemade mac and cheese like how I make my mac and cheese. I never made crunchy tacos like.
Wait, you do tacos?
Yes.
What are you making the shells with? How are you doing the shells?
I use a regular, like, I like using sprouted corn tortillas, but I fry them in a pan, and then I put them in the oven, and I shake them with the rack, and then I let them bake in the oven to get crunchy, to, like, make them.
Wow. Oh, Lord Jesus. Made me hungry.
I could order a tuna sandwich, too. And on Sunday, get it delivered? Yeah.
So your Sunday meals, are you delivering constantly, or are they also picking them up?
I have a pickup location that's more central Phoenix,
where
everybody can meet me, and then I do charge extra for delivery. But I do both, where I'll meet everybody for pickup at a specific time, and then those that want the delivery, I do delivery afterwards. And it's
so do you have people doing whole families, or is it just like one?
I have done family plans before. But primarily this one is just the one meal. With the meal prepping that I was doing before, I was doing 4 meal options, just to provide variety. Because when I looked into vegan meal prepping, it was the saddest thing I've ever seen.
Wow.
It's like, it's all like roasted vegetables and rice and quinoa and like beans, and it's like those main things. And like my meal prepping, I was doing my pastas, my Mexican dishes, enchiladas, empanadas. My soups, I have a whole entire menu. Like, I'll have to show you guys that I haven't featured on my blog yet, just because I've been creating so much and I've been adding to my menu and whatnot. But yeah, I have a pretty expansive menu that's like, it's nice variety that I like to provide.
That's what makes it good, though.
So has this become your full-time job?
Not yet, but in the next year, definitely. Along with a few other ventures that I'm working on, it's definitely getting there for sure. Yeah.
Can you talk about the partnership with the grocery store? How did that happen?
Yeah, natural grocers. So I love natural grocers. I'm like a diehard fan. And I just love them. And if you guys don't know who Natural Grocers is, they are a 100% non-GMO organic grocery store. and they have a lot of vegan options too. And I like their produce because not only is it 100% organic, but they literally every single morning they hand pick their fruits and veggies that they put out every single day.
Really?
Yes, and I saw this on their Instagram story, and I was like, see, I knew there was a reason why I liked you guys, because I am a very picky vegan. Like, I am very picky. Like, I'm not very much of a salad eater, but when I do eat salads and stuff like that, like, everything needs to be looking good and
on
crisp
there.
and fresh. If anything looks like, if it looks ugly, I'm not going to eat it.
Yeah.
Like, or if it looks soggy. Like,
yeah.
And I hate to say that because I'm like, I love raw vegetables and fruit, and I don't like to waste.
But they got to
like
be
that.
crisp.
But it really does. And so, like, when I found that out on their Instagram story, I was like, I love you guys. I love that. But Natural Grocers, I shop there. That's like my primary store that I shop at, between Natural Grocers and Sprouts. And Natural Grocers, I saw that they had a classroom there, so I went on their website and I just checked it out, and eventually started talking to the manager about like how their classroom exactly works. And so they filled me in on how it works, and I just basically have been planning these different classes there, and they're 100% for free. They're gluten-free, vegan classes. My classes are vegan. They have other classes that they have other demonstrators come in for like regular stuff, but mine are vegan. And I've done 2 classes so far, and they've gone really good, really, really good. Lots of information that I hand out. I like to not only give a recipe handout, but I like to give some type of information like about veganism. Like my first class, I gave my basic fridge swap list. So like basics like for butter, milk, your dressings and whatnot like that. Like I handed that out. And then this last class that I had for, I made my muffins. I gave a handout going over gluten and what gluten is and what the reactions and symptoms of having a gluten intolerance is, and because a lot of people don't know what it is.
I don't. I'm sitting here looking at you now like what?
So gluten comes from wheat, and it's basically like the outside shell of wheat, I believe is what it is. And they process it and ground it down to a flour to help with like making breads and tortillas and everything. It's in almost everything. Unfortunately, really? Yes. And what makes it so like a high allergy substance is that it was barely introduced to human diet within like the last, my sister mentioned it was like 500 years, I want to say. So like our bodies have not, a lot of people's bodies have not adapted to it. And kudos to those that can eat gluten without the reactions. But there's a lot of people that actually have a gluten intolerance and can't process gluten, but they don't have that direct line of communication with their body to know what exactly is causing those symptoms.
So what are some of the symptoms?
So breakouts, obvious one. Like for me, when I eat gluten, I will break out in 24 hours or less, like on my chest in hives. Like I will start like itching, like, and there's nothing there. And then all of a sudden I just get these big red bumps and they're like super hives. I know that digestion issues is a number one thing. Stomach issues, having stomach issues, and a lot of people think that it might be like IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. It could be a gluten intolerance too, like that you are not processing things, and that's what it attacks. Is it attacks your gut because that's where it's not being processed. It's getting correctly. Stuck in there. And then again, like with celiac disease, you have the extremes where people inflammation, not only like with the skin, but like certain organs too. But you'll have inflammation of the skin where like skin will just start getting bigger and bigger and just cracks and peels and bleeds. Oh, goodness. Yeah, it can get pretty bad.
I know.
Yeah, it can get pretty bad, unfortunately. And that's what sucks about having an intolerance is that like everything has it in it, and that's why I'm so like specific and picky with.
And when you say everything, like, can you kind of give us a list of like things we wouldn't think it's in?
Like pickles, vinegar. that was like the super shocker for me because I was at Natural Grocers and I'm looking at the pickles and all the more affordable ones. I'm like looking at them. And then I see the expensive ones on the bottom, and they're labeled gluten-free. And it just clicked for me. I'm like, wait a second.
So that means the other ones
that means that the other ones aren't gluten-free, because that whole entire store, everything is labeled if it's gluten-free, because that's like their focus. And so like that's when I went and researched that that vinegar, it depends on how it's processed. And a lot of vinegars tend to have gluten in it. What's another thing that has gluten in it? Like pretty much all pastas, breads, anything that's from wheat that has wheat in it.
Okay.
Has gluten in it. It's a lot of stuff. Like literally like, and stuff that you wouldn't think that has it. If it has it, it's because of how it's processed.
Goodness.
Gotcha.
So, I know in the beginning of our podcast, before we started recording...
Why are you whispering?
Because I can't. In the beginning of our podcast, before we started recording, when we were talking to each other, we heard that you sing. So do you want to tell us a little bit about your vocals?
Yes. So, yes, I'm a singer.
I'm laughing in the bar with that damn.
I've been singing like pretty much my whole entire life.
Can you sing something for us? No.
I mean, you can.
Okay, good. See,
Got
good.
a request?
You got to stay ready to get anything, girl.
I used to think that I wasn't fine enough, and I used to think that I wasn't wild enough, but I won't waste my time trying to figure out why you playing games, what's this all about? And I can't believe you hurting me. I met your girl, what a difference. What you see in her, you ain't seen in me. But I guess it was all just make-believe. Oh, love, never knew what I was missing. But I knew once we start kissing, I found.
Woo!
I'm gonna give you major
kudos
to singing that Keisha Cole, because most people sing that song and strain the mess out of their voice when they get to that level.
Yes.
That was amazing.
Yes.
That was amazing.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Man, you got us over here.
Yeah, keep singing. Sing us to sleep.
A little lullaby.
Yeah, you got a really soulful
T to
voice.
the E even had to get up for a second. Wait, where'd she go?
She going to get her. She want to go up next.
Oh yeah, you gonna come sing next, T to the E? No. Okay.
I don't know.
All right, we're gonna continue.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Thank you.
Yes. So go ahead and tell us. I know you mentioned. Well, do you want to mention you have something in the works?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I've been doing music for a while since I was like 16. I didn't start taking it seriously until about 21. And I've performed at various venues throughout the Valley, like Celebrity Theater, a few times. I've done the national anthem for different boxing events and all that kind of stuff. And I sort of went through a transitional period in the last year and a half, I want to say, with my music. And now I'm so happy to say that I am almost done with my first project. I have a half a song to finish right now. And yeah, my first project, EP, it will be coming out early 2019. Don't want to give a date quite yet because I'm still finishing up everything. But definitely it's coming for sure. I've been saying this for years, but it's coming 100%.
Girl,
I'm
you
making
can
it happen.
sing, boy. You
Thank
can
she's
sing.
Back.
You got a listening party so we can come listen.
Yes, I am definitely going to have a listening party and all that good stuff. I'm so excited about it because it's my baby. I've spent so much time over the last 6 months writing so much content, and it has like a deep message within it that truly like it's my soul basically in music form. And I feel like it's part of my purpose too. So I'm super excited about that. It's coming along great. Like finally getting there. Like, I'm finally getting there, and it's been awesome. Yeah.
Man, so who are some of your favorite artists?
I have such a big list. Right now?
Yeah, we could do it right now.
Right now, I would say, man, I don't even know, because like I've been listening to so many like so many genres lately. Like in the last couple of weeks, I've been listening to like oldies to rock to like pop rock to old school R&B, you know. So I don't really stay up with like new music like that, you know. But some of my influences, I'll say, definitely. I don't know if you guys know who Stacey Orico is.
No.
Ever heard of Stacey Orico? So she was a Christian singer. She started off as a Christian singer. She came out into the pop like secular scene like when I was like in high school. She didn't do very well, but she was my first CD, and she was like Christian R&B, and I grew up in a Christian household, so like that's all I could listen to basically until I got to a certain age. And she is like pretty much who I like embodied when I learned how to sing growing up, you know, because it was my first CD, I had my first Walkman, and I had my headphones. My mom taught me to put one off so I could hear myself, and I learned how to sing basically from her. And so like she was like my main influence, but like within my music, I have Mary J. Blige, Alicia Keys.
I could definitely hear that.
Alicia Keys,
definitely have Lauryn Hill. We have Jill Scott in there. Some people have told me like a modern day Tina Marie.
Girl.
Yeah, so I right now I'm on this jazz kick too. So like a lot of my music like that I'm going to be releasing soon, it has like a little bit of like I want to say like I can't even put my finger on it. It's like it's such a crazy combination. My producer Q, he's freaking amazing. Like he's my main dude, and he like has put together like primarily the music for my project, and he just has this sound. It's like this hip hop, jazz, R&B, soul. I don't know. It's just it's a really dope combination.
So do you like Adele or Corinne Bailey?
Yeah. Okay. I like all different kinds of music. I like high vibrational music, I guess you can say. I don't like songs that are like sad. Yeah, I don't really like you know, like the sad heartbreak songs, or like the I'm pissed off you broke my heart type songs. Like I'm like all about like, let's keep it motivational. Let's be happy. Let's let's do this thing. Like let's live life in a positive way. Because I'm a true believer in like you have to feed yourself positive stuff. Right. Because if you aren't, like you are taking in whatever you're feeding yourself.
Yeah,
so if you're like focused on listening to like those down songs, you know, those sad songs, like you're stuck in that level, and I don't like being in that level. I've like risen above that. So like anything that's high vibrational, whether it's oldies, R&B,
any genre.
Yeah, any genre really like. And I'm big on lyrics. Lyrically, like I'm big on like messages and like deep messages and stuff like that. So like if it's lyrically there, now don't get me wrong, I like mine, you know. I like to, you know, get hype in, you know, the ones that you can dance to and whatnot, but I'm a big lyrical.
Like what is it feeding you? Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Exactly.
So can you see yourself like merging all of the things that you do, the blogging, the singing, like can you see yourself like merging all those, like how do you think that you could incorporate like all of those into
Absolutely. It actually is like one of my plan, like part of my plan is to eventually like, and that's why I went with the name To Divinity and Beyond, is because like I want to provide education that is not only within the food sector, it's everything. We have mind, body, and soul. And so like I actually am involved with other practices that like help with that whole entire aspect of the whole embodiment of, you know, raising your vibration and, you know, just kind of reconnecting with yourself and falling in love with yourself and that self-love, self-discovery journey. So yeah, I definitely have things in the works that I'm definitely wanting to put into play here in this next year in 2019 with them all.
For sure.
You're gonna be more than a triple threat.
Right, exactly.
Hey, that's a plan.
The
Quadruple.
sextuple player?
Yeah.
Octuple player?
Yeah.
Octuple threat.
Threat, yeah.
Octuple
Yeah, because I was like, why does that sound
play.
different?
Yeah, I was like,
Threat.
I'm just making up all
It would be a
kinds of
tongue
stuff.
twister.
A real tongue twister. All right. So I had another question I wanted to ask. So kind of back to like being vegan. So how do you think that being vegan, I guess you can say, how does it affect you mentally? Because I know we spoke about how it affects you physically and like health wise, but how does it affect you like mentally and spiritually?
Oh man, I saw this meme one time that I can't word it exactly word for word, but they say that whoever they is,
No, who are they?
They say that if you can control what you put into your body, you can control anything. And with veganism, like when I started my journey with veganism, that was like the beginning of my self-love, self-discovery journey. It was a reintroduction to my body's authentic self, but also my mind, because I had to reprogram and re-educate myself on nutrition and basically wipe clean everything that has been embedded in my brain since birth. And had to really like be more mindful of what I was putting into my body, and that then translated into everything else, because like just being more mindful of food. Like I said, you got to feed yourself positive stuff, and it then translated into music to where I'm like, listening to? Why is this making me feel this way?
So you didn't even realize that you were going to go on this journey?
I didn't even know. No, I just thought it was going to be food. Like, honestly, I just thought it was going to be food, And I basically, once I reconnected with myself and I started like realizing like, okay, so the food is working. Like as I'm like watching what I'm intaking and consuming food wise, then I start changing my music. I honestly, I've mentioned this a couple times before, but honestly, in the last like a year and a half ago, I didn't really have very many friends. And with veganism, what that made me do is it made me look within myself and figure out why I didn't have solid people in my life. And you just become more mindful of so much more things, like, because again, food is just so easy. It's so easily like consumed that you crave something, you put it in your mouth. But when you crave something, when you're a vegan, you have to, okay, I can't have that. So what can I have that's going to crave this, or satisfy this craving that I have that is similar but not exactly that. And it's sort of like I have to apply that into my life too, where I like stop myself and catch myself, whether it's my own emotions or my own reactions or whatever, like. It literally has like retrained my brain to just be more mindful and to just be more like not me based, but also more like what is best for me in that me, like that focus on me type thing. So yeah, it definitely has translated into so many other aspects of my life that my intuition's gotten stronger. My relationships with people have gotten stronger. I've connected with myself, obviously, like 10 times more than I was,
So did you figure out why you didn't have as many friends? Or?
Yeah. It was like a serious self-discovery. It was like, I had to like sit there and evaluate how I present myself to people, like, because again, like the universe is a giant mirror. It's a reflection. So if I'm not liking something that's going on in my life, it's because of something I'm putting out there. So once I evaluated what I was putting out there, and I started changing my vibration, I started changing my music, I started changing how I spoke to myself, how I described myself, because people don't realize how powerful their words are.
Exactly.
Again, that's that mindfulness, is like, it's little things of like, just calling yourself fat because you feel bloated or something. It's like, you shouldn't be talking to yourself like that.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember one time I told myself, I was talking to my sister, and I was like, man, I feel so fat. Like, I feel like I've gained 10 pounds over the last week, blah, blah, blah. And I feel so lethargic and lazy and blah. And she was just like, she just calmly just said, you shouldn't talk to yourself like that. It's like, your body is exhausted for some reason. And you talking to it like that isn't going to help it.
Yeah.
And when she said that to me, I was like, wow, we are plants. Like, we literally, like, when you talk to plants and you speak life into plants, like, we are plants. We are the same thing. So we are either speaking life or death into ourselves and into others. And so, like, again, that veganism, like, it just opens up your mind to where you're just, like, mindful of so many things. And once I realized, like, how I was speaking to myself, like, it's just, like, everything is just elevated, like, from food. Like, now I've graduated, I'm, like, going into, like, more of, like, fruits and raw vegetables, where I'm, like, looking into raw recipes now, raw vegan recipes, and then you go into, like, my mentality of, you know, handling life. Like, I don't freak out about stuff anymore. You know, I don't have anxiety anymore. I'm more, like,
so is your
to myself.
anxiety completely gone?
Yeah, I wouldn't say completely, but I've learned how to transmute it and turn it into a different kind of energy that is more useful and conducive to what I'm trying to accomplish in that moment.
So what are you doing to, like...
I sort of, like, translated into, like, adrenaline, and I've now switched my... Whereas I used to be like, I'd freak out and be like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Now I'm like, okay, what are we going to do? What's the plans? What are the options now? Instead of like, oh my God, I don't know.
Like the fear.
Yeah, now it's like, no, it's not the end of the world. We have options. There's always a solution to the problem.
Exactly.
You just have to think deeper. You have to gain control of your emotions to get to that point and think deeper into the solutions. And that has, like, wiped away my anxiety to... I've had moments, you know, I still have moments where I'm, like, I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm like, okay, all right, universe. I'm, like, checking my watch, like, okay, I'm trusting you, but we are on, like, the brink of... Like,
of something.
Like, can we get this going, you know? But, like, just gaining that control, like, it has, like... It when you're in that level, when you get up to that level, it's like nothing can faze you, almost. And you stop worrying about things not working out the way that it's supposed to, because everything works out the way that it's supposed to,
regardless.
At the end of the day, it will work out the way that it's supposed to be, whether it was how you expected it to be or not. It's just that you have to release those expectations. And once I learned how to do that too, it was like my whole entire, like, life has changed completely since going vegan. Yeah, and vegan was like that catapult that, like, put me out there. That was like,
and you had no idea.
Had no idea. And I feel like a lot of people don't realize, like, it's like, you know, a lot of people that aren't vegan, they're like, I can't go vegan because I'm gonna miss meat. And I'm like, no, you don't.
See, that's me. That would be me.
Just wait until you get to that point, because again, you clear that connection from your body to your mind, and it's like
But it's a huge jump that you have to go through, though.
It is.
It's a huge...
It is, but your body does it naturally. That's the thing, is that when you put in the effort, once you get your mind and your body, like, on the same page, like, you don't really have to, like, do much. Like, like I said, like, I was craving ice cream that night, you know, that I went to Cold Stone and ended up throwing it away before I even got home, and only took like 4 bites of it because it immediately affected my body. I thought I wanted it, but then my body was like, no.
Your mind.
No. Yeah, exactly. So once you get your body there, your mind follows easily, because then you're like, you start getting these things that pop up, you know, the stomach pains or digestive issues that you will hold on, your brain holds on to, so that, like,
I don't want to be
next
like that.
Next time you see that mac and cheese, you're like, oh, I'm not touching that. I am not, you know. So it happens naturally. Like, you think that it wouldn't, but it does, because again, our bodies have been, like, so bogged down with so much crap and so much stuff that even with me being vegan 3 years now, I still have stuff in my intestines that I need to go do, that have not come, that I need to go get a colon cleanse for. Yeah. It is like that.
So just imagine never stopping.
Exactly.
That's true. That is true. Wow. Because they say, I know steak, it says like 5 to 8 days to go through your...
And a lot of people, and I have a friend, her name is Diliana, she does colon detoxing and whatnot, and we had a conversation because I found this tweet about how, like, Elvis Presley was found when he died, his autopsy, he had 50 pounds
of fecal matter in his intestine.
Mm-hmm. That happens to people.
Audrey Hepburn had around the same amount too, and they end up getting enlarged intestines, which it's a muscle. It stretches, it grows. So they have an overly enlarged intestine that is like just jam packed full of shit. That is like
there's some people that have to go to the emergency room. Yeah,
exactly.
You have to go to the emergency room.
A lot of
get it.
beer bellies.
That's what it is.
That's just an enlarged intestine. Yeah, or like bloating, or like people think that like, you know, carbs makes them, you know, gain weight. No, it's your body not able to process those man-made carbs that are made out of GMO ingredients that makes you gain weight. No, you have inflammation because your body can't process and break down those nutrients, you know. So it's just a nutrition thing, like in our
50
society.
pounds of fecal matter. That is disgusting.
Yes.
No, but they say a lot of beer bellies. Though. Yeah, beer bellies.
That's all it is.
That's all it is. I know somebody.
Pretty much do your body bad too.
Yeah.
Like cheese, it messes with me.
Yeah, like a lot of people like are like, oh, I can't have it because I'm lactose intolerant, and it's like, you just have more of a reaction than others. We are not supposed to be drinking cow's milk. Cow's milk is for cows. The nutrients in there is for cows to grow into big animals, not for us. So that stuff really messes with our bodies. Seriously messes with our bodies and causes so much mucus in our bodies, like. And that's where disease like grows and like will flourish is in mucus.
Oh, goodness.
Yes. So like when you reduce dairy, you reduce like so much inflammation. You'll see like a lot of inflammation go down, a lot of mucus go down. You can breathe clearer, especially up in here, even just throughout your body. Period, in your intestines. Yeah, it's dairy is definitely
You over there getting scared and nervous?
No, I've heard all that
Wait,
stuff
I bet
before.
you ain't gonna go eat that butter pecan.
I say no to butter pecan.
I ate some pizza the other day because I tried to sneak it, but it messed with my stomach.
Yep. See.
And I know one day it hit me right away, and the other day it took a day, and it got me last night because it gives me sinus headaches, and then it messed with my stomach.
See. Yep.
See, look at you. Eating stuff you ain't supposed to eat.
Well, you didn't take nothing out for me to cook. So.
Okay, we ain't gonna.
Okay.
Anyways, next
They over here getting into a family argument.
That's what I heard. Don't put me in that. So, do you ladies have any more questions for Miss Cherice tonight?
I don't think so. Goodness.
I feel like we learned a lot tonight.
I did.
I learned a lot.
Yay.
Yeah,
Next time you see her, she might be vegan.
Hey.
I can't wait to come to one of your
Call me
events.
anytime. I'm available 24/7.
See, I don't know. Vegan. Oh, goodness. I don't
She
know.
said, oh, goodness.
Lord help me. I want some hamburgers. Give me a leg and a piece of chicken.
But I think talking to you long enough would probably make me want to go vegan. Go vegan though.
Yeah, and trying my black bean burgers or.
Oh, you got black bean burgers?
Black bean
girl, I got so much stuff.
What's
I have
the
a
name
lot.
of that restaurant?
What restaurant?
That had that one burger.
Hot Daddy?
Have you been to Hot Daddy? They got their
It's
one burger.
on 24th Street in Camelback. 16th Street in Camelback.
I've heard of it. They have the
one burger.
The Impossible.
Yeah, and it's good.
Really, I haven't tried the Impossible.
It's a vegan?
meat. Yeah,
But what is it made out of?
Shannara was telling us about it in California.
It's plant. It's 100% plant based. It's vegan. It is vegan. I just don't know exactly what it's made out of. I have not tried it yet.
It is tasty.
Really?
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I'm like.
You want to go in the kitchen and see what they're putting in
there?
Yeah,
exactly. That's how I feel.
I
Like
think it might be beans or something.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. It was really good. I would eat it again, actually. You tasted it.
No, I didn't.
You didn't take a bite? Oh, I thought you did. It was really good.
I'm gonna have to try it.
Maybe because I think it's the same burger all over. It's like
the same meat. Yeah.
so
They
you
sell
might
that
just
meat at
wanna
Natural
Google it,
Grocers.
yeah.
Yeah. I just haven't. I don't know. It's just the whole idea of like it bleeds and.
What?
I didn't see bleed.
Like when you see it, like it's like has like the same color, like
like what are they doing to make it look like?
Yeah,
that?
it's like.
So you want to be in the kitchen to see what goes on?
I'm pretty picky. I have like a couple of like go-to places that I get my. Like if anybody else is going to cook for me, but for the most part, I cook my own stuff because I'm like,
you know what's in it.
I know, yeah, and my body's so sensitive. Like one little mishap, and I'm like, no.
Where do you go?
I absolutely love Pomegranate Cafe. They used to have one in Central Phoenix, but they just closed that one down. I don't know what happened, but they have one out in Chandler. I know it's far. They have one out in Chandler, but they have like a huge variety of vegan stuff, but it's like all different kinds of stuff. Like whereas like a lot of vegan restaurants out here, they have like a pretty small menu that they stick to, or they're like rotate it every now and then, like based on the season. But they have like a very and it's really good, really good. Yeah. I also like the Coronado. I haven't been there in a while, but the Coronado's downtown. That's off of 7th Street, in between McDowell and Thomas, and love them. Absolutely love them. And then besides that, I'll get like little like, for example, Cheesecake Factory has a vegan Cobb salad that I absolutely love. It like has and they actually have vegan options there. They have like fried cauliflower at Cheesecake Factory. Yeah, they have like a couple different things there. But yeah, I primarily just stick to like that stuff, or I just cook my own stuff.
So black bean burger, we need to try from you.
Yeah, for sure. I need to put something together.
Can you put a little bit of meat in it for us?
She like, nope.
Ran out of drink.
Look, the only meat I'm doing is meeting you in the parking lot and getting to you.
She like, heck no.
All right. Okay, so before we end off for the night, first off, do you have any upcoming events that you would like to let the people know about?
As of right now, no. But I do have a class that's going to be coming up here. I want to say the 3rd week of October, possibly like the last week of October at Natural Grocers. I will be posting it, so definitely keep an eye out for it on my my social media and everything. Yeah.
You might.
And a couple other things in the works too, so make sure you guys
follow you.
Top secret. Yeah, top secret.
Do you have any shout outs that you would like to give?
Shout out to my soul tribe. And yeah, shout out to everybody that's been supporting me. Like, I've had so many people like just show so much love and support since I started this whole entire journey, with my blog, with my food business, and just overall with my just creations and being a creative person. And I appreciate everybody that has shown, genuine love and appreciation for what I'm trying to put out into the world. And so yeah, shout out to you guys. I love you guys.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
All right. Thank you once again for coming out tonight with us. And
thank you for making me feel special.
You want to sing us out of here before?
Not with you dancing like that. She ain't gonna sing.
Oh goodness!
Oh,
Give
Lordy.
us.
Get it.
Please don't. Do not entertain that.
That's where they go like that and then they push everything. Oh Lord, no.
I'm done.
This lady is a trip.
You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. Right. We enjoyed
Can be
having
entertained all night.
Okay.
The people on the list is another one of our favorites.
Okay. Hey.
Oh, all right. We calling it a night tonight. It's 12 somewhere.
How about you hum us out of here while we give our...
Oh yeah, like a little background.
Yeah.
No, I want to hear some singing.
Sleep tight and don't let the bed bugs bite.
Oh,
No, one of them now.
heard what she said.
Watch out
Don't let
now.
them bite now.
Don't let them. All right. We want to go ahead and sign out for the night.
It's T to the E.
It's Kimmy. We out.
It's Nikkei.
And Cherice.
Watch out now. Hey.
That's nothing. I know it's something to you. So why are y'all frontin'? Got 3 jobs, so you know your girl be hustling. I really just like nice stuff, so I'm not frontin' for nobody. Like y'all weak ass little thotties. Gotta call your sugar daddy just to buy an entree. But please don't get it twisted. Come try me and you might get your wig lifted. My daddy taught me well, so I don't with the snitches. Nah. Just know I'm bougie, and you gotta what? Deal with it. Bougie gang, bougie gang, bougie gang, bougie gang, bougie gang, bougie gang, bougie gang. Got 2 necklaces from Tiffany's. My ice 10 times, your nose ring. You better back up before you get got. I'ma knock you with my rose gold wristwatch. Y'all think this is a game, but I'm spinning facts.